Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first thing is the pot. Okay, you have to have the right tensile of pot. And the way you check that is, it's very simple. You grab it by the handle, and you just ping it right dead center, right here. Okay, if you have a loud, long, high-pitched ping, then you have a good... So you hear that ring? This pot will work. I've had louder, longer, higher pings, but this one will work. This will work fine. So the next thing you want to do is get some oil. Here's your oil. This is a canola oil. It's bought at Publix. It's a medium grade oil, something that we can work with. Take your top off. The top of the oil, that is. Dump a little in. You want about just enough to cover the bottom. Okay, now here's a very important factor, and this is one that how people get in trouble when they're popping oil, when they're popping popcorn. The other thing is, one thing you want to do is give that oil one lap around the pan. Okay, what that will do is coat the pan about an inch up on the sides, so that if anything touches it, it will in fact have the coating of oil and it won't burn. Now, rule of thumb is cover the bottom of the pan with the popcorn. If the bottom of the pan is covered with corn, it will fill the pan. Now, if you put more in there, then it will overflow. Okay? So, just to prove my theory correct, I will take this off. This is what is this? This is a good brand, Oval Redenbacher. I usually use a German popcorn called Heubenschnitz, which is specially produced for my show. But we'll use this. And we'll just dump some in here. Dump a little in here like this. And fill in all the voids. Wherever you see a little popcorn void is what I like to call it. Okay, now, just a little bit like that. Now, I'm going to pan that down so you can see the entire pan is covered. There's a few extra kernels here, but there's a little bit of space there, so that's what I like to do right there. Okay. Now, as you can see, all that oil is soaking into that popcorn. Now, very important, you must have gas. If you have electric, I'm not responsible for any incidences of burning or undercooking. Now, with gas, bring your flame up. You've got a high flame there. Before we start, I would like to turn to my assistant and say the other very important factor is the mitts. He's pointing to the mitts up in the basket. Ah, yes. Okay, I'm going to bring down three mitts, okay? Now, make sure your cover fits tight. And as you can see, we do in fact have a raised cover here in case we have too much popcorn in here. That will take care of that without spilling. So, we're on high right now. I'm going to set that on there. Just let that sit for a minute. That oil will heat up. Keep your cover on. Check your setting on here so you'll know you can time your adjustment. That's a good flame right there. That is on high. And we're just going to let that go a little bit. What's happening right now is I'm doing what I like to call seasoning the kernel. That's an old Army term where the enlisted men used to play pranks on the officers, and they would call that seasoning the kernel. That spilled over into the cooking world, and now it's part of the popcorn culture. So, as we season the kernel, we'll let that go a little bit longer, and I'm going to say in probably, well, it was a little cool in here, so our room temperature is actually a little lower than I like. Feeling this oil, it's probably about 62 degrees. We normally keep our kitchens at about 71. So it'll take a little bit longer. In the meantime, what I like to do is try to find a small bowl that I will use to melt butter in. Something of this nature will work. Okay. And we've got some butter right here, and we will find a utensil, a small spoon. This one here will have to work. Okay, take that, and we'll take some of this when the time is ready. Okay, that's unsalted, that's salted. We blend it together. It will make a nice, light, creamy mixture. Now, we'll take a look and see if oh yeah, we've got a little, now see, there's one kernel right there. Just came up. So when that starts to go, the important thing to realize is that's when